Caleb, unshakable faith, trusting God's promise. Even after 40 years of waiting, have you ever waited a long time for something God promised? Have you ever prayed for years and wondered when the answer would come? Have you ever felt like life was moving forward for everyone else while you were still waiting? If so, then the story of Caleb will encourage your heart. Caleb is one of the most inspiring examples of faith in the entire Bible. He was not a king. He was not a prophet. He did not perform great miracles. Yet his faith shines brightly across the pages of Scripture. Why? Because Caleb trusted God when others doubted. He believed God's promises when others gave in to fear. And perhaps most remarkably, he kept believing for 40 years. Many people can trust God for a day. Some can trust Him for a month. A few can trust Him for several years. But Caleb trusted God for 4 decades. His story teaches us that delayed promises are not forgotten promises. God's timing is always perfect, and faith that endures will eventually see God's faithfulness. Today, we will discover how Caleb maintained unshakable faith through years of waiting and what his example can teach us about trusting God when answers seem delayed. Before we begin, please like this video, subscribe to Living Word and Scriptures, and share this message with someone who is waiting on God today. Let's begin a journey toward the Promised Land. The story of Caleb begins during one of the most exciting moments in Israel's history. God had delivered His people from slavery in Egypt. He had parted the Red Sea. He had guided them through the wilderness. And now they stood on the edge of the Promised Land. The land God had promised Abraham. The land flowing with milk and honey. The land of blessing. The land of inheritance. Everything they had been waiting for was finally within reach. Moses selected 12 men to spy out the land, one representative from each tribe. Among those chosen were Joshua and Caleb. For 40 days they explored the land. What they found was remarkable. The land was fruitful, abundant, beautiful, exactly as God had promised. But they also discovered powerful cities and formidable enemies. And this is where faith and fear began to separate. The report that changed everything. When the spies returned, the people gathered to hear their report. 10 spies focused on the obstacles, the fortified cities, the giant inhabitants, the difficulties ahead. Fear filled their words. Fear spread throughout the camp. Soon the entire nation was discouraged. But Caleb saw the same giants. He saw the same walls. He saw the same challenges. Yet he reached a completely different conclusion. Numbers 13:30 says, Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, "Let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it." What confidence, what courage, what faith. Caleb understood something the others had forgotten. God had already promised them victory. The question was not how big the giants were. The question was how big God was. Faith sees obstacles through the lens of God's power. Fear sees God through the lens of obstacles. Caleb chose faith. Standing alone, imagine the scene. An entire nation gripped by fear. Thousands of voices speaking doubt. Thousands of voices demanding retreat. And only 2 men, Joshua and Caleb, standing for God's promise. Standing alone is never easy. Most people naturally follow the crowd. But faith sometimes requires standing apart from the crowd. Caleb was willing to be different. He was willing to trust God even when everyone around him disagreed. And God noticed, never underestimate the value of standing for truth when everyone else chooses fear. God sees it, God honors it, and God remembers it. The cost of unbelief. Sadly, Israel listened to the 10 fearful spies. The people rebelled against God's plan. Instead of entering the promised land, they chose fear. As a result, God declared that the unbelieving generation would wander in the wilderness for 40 years. Imagine how Caleb must have felt. He was ready to enter the land immediately. He had trusted God. He had spoken truth. Yet because of the unbelief of others, he also had to wait. This is a difficult reality of life. Sometimes faithful people experience delays because of circumstances beyond their control. Sometimes we suffer consequences created by others. Yet Caleb did not become bitter. He did not quit. He continued trusting God. That is what makes his faith so remarkable. 40 years of waiting. Think about 40 years. 40 years of walking through the wilderness. 40 years of seeing the same desert landscapes. 40 years of waiting for a promise that seemed delayed. Many people would have given up. Many would have stopped believing. Many would have concluded that the opportunity had been lost. But not Caleb. Day after day, year after year, decade after decade, he continued trusting God. His circumstances changed, his age changed, but his faith remained the same. Waiting often reveals the strength of our faith. Anyone can believe when the answer arrives quickly. The true test comes when the promise is delayed. Caleb passed that test. A different spirit. God described Caleb in a remarkable way. Numbers 14:24 says, "But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, and hath followed me fully." What a testimony! He followed God fully, not partially, not occasionally, not when it was convenient, fully. Caleb possessed a different spirit. While others focused on problems, he focused on God's promises. While others complained, he believed. While others doubted, he trusted. His faith set him apart, and God rewarded that faithfulness. 85 years old and still strong. Eventually, the waiting ended. The wilderness generation passed away. Joshua led Israel into the promised land. The time had finally come. Then Caleb stepped forward with one of the most inspiring speeches in Scripture. Joshua 14 records his words. Caleb reminded Joshua of God's promise. Then he made an astonishing declaration. He said, "I am this day 85 years old." 85 years old. Most people at that age would be looking for comfort, rest, ease, but listen to what Caleb said next. "As yet I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me." What extraordinary confidence! What remarkable faith! 40 years had not weakened his trust in God. If anything, it had strengthened it. "Give me this mountain." Then Caleb made his famous request. "Give me this mountain." What a statement! Not a comfortable valley, not an easy assignment, not a place free from challenges. A mountain. And not just any mountain. The mountain was occupied by giants, the very giants that had frightened the 10 spies. 45 years earlier, Caleb was still ready to face them. Why? Because his confidence had never been in himself. It had always been in God. The giants had not changed. but neither had God's power. What an incredible lesson. Faith does not shrink with age. Faith grows stronger when rooted in God's promises. Receiving the promise, Joshua blessed Caleb and gave him Hebron as his inheritance. The promise God had made decades earlier was finally fulfilled. Think about the journey. 45 years of waiting, 45 years of trusting, 45 years of believing, and at last, the promise became reality. God had not forgotten. God had not changed his mind. God had not failed. He had simply worked according to his perfect timing. The same is true today. God's delays are not God's denials. When God makes a promise, he remains faithful. Lessons from Caleb's life. What can we learn from Caleb? First, faith focuses on God's promises rather than obstacles. Second, courage often requires standing against the crowd. Third, delayed promises are not forgotten promises. Fourth, perseverance matters. Caleb continued believing for decades. Fifth, wholehearted devotion to God brings lasting rewards. And finally, God's timing is always perfect, even when we do not understand it. A picture of the Christian life. In many ways, Caleb's story reflects the Christian journey. Believers live by faith. We trust promises we cannot yet fully see. We wait patiently for God's purposes to unfold. We face obstacles and challenges along the way, yet we continue moving forward because we trust the one who made the promise. Like Caleb, we are called to remain faithful until the end. Not because the journey is easy, but because God is faithful. Final encouragement. Perhaps you're waiting for a promise today. Perhaps you've been praying for years. Perhaps you're wondering whether God remembers. Take heart. Remember Caleb. Remember the 40 years. Remember the mountain. Remember the promise fulfilled. The God who remembered Caleb remembers you. The God who fulfilled his promise to Caleb will fulfill every promise he has made according to his perfect will. Do not give up. Do not lose heart. Do not allow delay to destroy your faith. Keep trusting. Keep believing. Keep following God fully. And one day, you will discover that every moment of waiting was worth it. Thank you for joining me today on Living Word and Scriptures. If this message encouraged you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who is waiting on God's promises. May the Lord strengthen your faith, renew your hope, and help you trust Him through every season of waiting. Until next time, keep believing, keep trusting, and keep walking by faith.